G'day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan battle video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the Vegeta'S family Extreme Super Battle Road stage, and we're going to see just how difficult it is in Dbz Dokkan battle. Now this stage obviously got released as part, well, not really part of any celebration, it's just kind of released. They released every couple weeks now, basically. And to cut a long story short, it's pretty challenging, I would say. Obviously, a lot of people are trying to no item run these stages, which I think is, a pretty fair attempt. I think Vegeta'S family is pretty strong. I think you could potentially no item run it with the right builds and the right team, but I wanted to try something a little bit interesting and just kind of swing around a couple units I haven't used in a while. So first one I kind of wanted to start with was this grade 8 Vegeta, who I think got a lot of flack, but I actually still really like as a unit. And yeah, just basically wanted to see how everything kind of went and take a look at this whole team and just see how they build and see everything about them, I think, overall. But yeah, in general, I do think, for me at least, that it was a relatively tough, relatively challenging stage. It does start off pretty tough. The enemies here do hit hard, but you do have the ability to use items, to stun them, to seal them, and these mechanics do tend to make Esbr and Esbr a bit easier. So even though the units are starting to hit really hard, it doesn't necessarily matter too much. Friend lead I'm using is the Martian Vegeta, and the reason being is I just really like this unit, and I don't have him. And I don't know, I really like him still. I think he's fantastic. I really do think he's an excellent unit. But yeah, basically, so to cut a long story short, just kind of looking at the whole Vegeta'S family build. There's a couple ways to go around it, but one of the ways we've kind of worked around it is we're going to be using this Vegeta as our friend lead. You could use the Vegeta and Trunks unit as your friend lead as well. I think they're a very good pseudo swap for this guy. But so this Vegeta will have 30% damage reduction for the rest of the battle when there's an ally whose name includes Trunks on the team. He has attack and defense of 180%, plus an additional attack and defense of 50% when performing a super attack. He gets additional defense of 50% with 3 or more key spheres obtained, damage reduction by another 20% with 6 or more key spheres obtained. He has an additional attack of 88% when HP is 88% or less, and he changes orbs to N-type. So he's really good. I like him a lot. He can hit super duper hard, and he has a really good active skill, which is really helpful. So I mean, I honestly really just like this guy. If I can be honest with you, I think he's really underrated as a unit, and I think he's really strong. I think once the Martian Bruise saga starts to get some buffs again, this guy's gonna really be someone that people are going to appreciate more. I think the bond the parent and child category helped him out a lot. The ability to have him kind of pseudo linked up with the Vegeta and Trunks unit also really helps. And yeah, I just think in general he's a great unit. Is he necessarily the best unit in the game? Definitely not, but I think he's really good, and I'd love to see just how good he does later on as a unit. But yeah, overall I think this guy is really good, and I enjoy him a lot. So I personally really enjoy running the two of them together if possible. I think it'll be really great. So anyway, he's obviously just a great unit, and alongside that, or alongside him as our friend lead, we're going to be running the Strength Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta as our lead. So Strength Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta got a pretty nice Extreme Z Awakening. He's 180% Vegeta'S family lead, which is good. He massively raises defense on his 18 key. He's just pretty strong. Attack and defense of 140%, builds up that defense every single turn really nicely. Gains 2 key per rainbow or strength key sphere, gains an additional key plus 1 per key sphere obtained. So getting his 18 key is pretty easy to do. Medium chance of evading the enemy's attack and countering. Disables their action once when facing 2 or more enemies. When you do the active skill, or when you do a 24 key, all of which is really good. By the way, I love watching this intro and the music every single time. It is really good. I love this unit, man. I really want to pull this guy, or I'll buy him with coins. He's just really awesome, like really cool. So yeah, I love this Vegeta, man. He's really cool. Anyway, Super Saiyan, Saiyan Raw, prepared for battle, the usual stuff with Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, and just a very strong unit overall. We are using the Vegeta'S family support memory, the Trunks one that gives you 10% attack and defense for the first 2 turns. Just generally helps to take the sting off of and allow us to kind of get a little bit more results out of our unit in the first 2 turns of the fight against Esbr units. Usually when you need that little bit of extra defense, or you're looking to just eliminate a unit quickly. In the second fight, I really want to try and focus down the Int Gohan. Main reason being just simply we don't have a lot of weaknesses to the tech units. Only one unit is AGL type, so I'd like to just take out the Int Gohan where possible, just because, you know, he does pose a threat to some of our units, but nothing too crazy. Then going to be running the Furious Last Resort Vegeta. So this is the Giant Ape one, the Tech LR one. I think he's a decent unit. I think a lot of people gave him a lot of flack. He's great in fights where you face a Goku family enemy. You're going to see his entrance animation activate. In the next turn, you're going to see him do a lot more damage. You're going to see just how good he can be. He does have guard, which I think is really good. His big thing is how much defense he gains on Super and Ultra Super. This really changes how he looks as a unit, because the thing is when you have a unit like this guy, you need dupes in him for him to be that first tank unit, even with guard. And I think that kind of irritates a lot of people. In base 55%, he just doesn't have the high enough defense to kind of guard and then get a super off, so it makes him kind of like a really great defensive second slot unit. Not that that's inherently bad as well in any way, shape or form, but it is just something I think a lot of people don't necessarily like so much, at least on the surface level of things. But he's a pretty good unit still. I really like him a lot, and I think a lot of people give him flack, whereas yeah, I just think he's good. I don't know. I don't really have like a huge issue with him as a unit. I personally just find him to be very decent, and I think overall he works really well for me. Also great animation as well, by the way. And yeah, just in general, a very cool unit, personally speaking. So yeah, obviously, sorry, I just had to do a skip there because filming sometimes has issues. You have to go do stuff and then come back. Vegeta'S active skill, by the way, fantastic. Really helps us to just control things. We're then going to transform into the Giant Ape form and get some free damage off of this whole thing. So really good. Vegeta'S Giant form, by the way, key +5, so just some easy super attacks to just help finish things off. Vegeta is just really cool as a unit. I think Vegeta'S family actually has some really good units, but units that I think shine way more with dupes than some other teams. You know, if I look at them, I think realistically the only unit that's incredibly good at 55% is probably the Vegeta and Trunks unit, whereas the rest probably need a dupe or two to really start to shine. But once you get those dupes in them, I think they really pull it together. The thing is they can do some really crazy damage, and they got some great second slotters. So once you get the Vegeta and Trunks unit, and you start mixing and matching the Vegeta units together, and you have these kind of 2 frontal tank units, it becomes really good to look at the team and how well they do together. So yeah, I do really like this team. For me personally, I think they are really good. So I'm honestly super, like, I think if you invest some effort into this team, you're gonna see some really good results. I think you could easily no item run this with like a whole bunch of units, and yeah, just in general, really strong team. So obviously, yeah, we do have some pretty nice units. To round it all off, we have some pretty standard Vegeta'S family units that you're going to see a lot of people running. The Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, obviously after his EZA, is just a super duper tank. He reduces damage received by 90% for 10 turns, or 80% for 10 turns from the start of battle, which is just pretty nuts, and he has a high chance of stunning, so he's really, really good. And then we're going to be running the physical Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, just because he's got a high chance of guarding, which could be really interesting. Not necessarily the best floater, could have definitely changed things up there, but I just kind of wanted, like I said, I wanted to try and run some slightly different units to what I usually run. Maybe some units that I think people don't really see a lot of, or maybe just wanted to mesh some together. It was just a build that I was kind of really trying to have a bit of fun with, more so than anything else. I don't think there was any inherent, like, huge notion behind this team build. I don't think I was striving to go for anything specifically. I wasn't even properly pairing the units, just kind of trying to go with some units I hadn't used in a while, and just trying to see how they held up and how they went, basically. Here we have a really interesting combo of units, by the way. We have the Majin Vegeta and the Majin Vegeta, so pretty interesting kind of duo. I think both of them are really decent. I think the LR Majin Vegeta is one of those units I think that got really, really hard done by the fact that if they just switched his damage reduction requirement with his additional defense requirement, and the fact that he has 20% damage reduction if he was facing or had a Trunks kid on the team, or just a Trunks, similar to how they have it with the Int Majin Vegeta, I think that he would have been great. And still would have been highly usable now. I think the fact that it's tied behind a Bulma is incredibly weird, because Bulma just as a unit does not have a lot of playable units in the game. And the only really good Bulma, like the physical Bulma, the physical Easy 8 Bulma, she's not on Vegeta's family. So it's a little bit weird, because obviously she's the Bulma that didn't really know Vegeta. It's a little bit weird that they really trying to put this together. Maybe when Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta and Bulma gets, their Easy A one day, the Vegeta and Bulma, the matrimonial bond one, is okay, but it's just really not one that I'd want to use. It was just a bit of a weird decision that I think's kind of gimped the unit a little bit. When you have his full kit, he's honestly not that bad. It's just they kind of decided to, I don't know, just detract from him a little bit, and it is a little bit disappointing, but yeah, you can't really change these things. It is what it is. So yeah, overall though, I do think the Vegeta's family is a lot of fun to run. It was cool to try and just kind of fiddle around with a couple of these characters, just see where they went and see how they did. I do like the Great Ape Vegeta a lot. I like the Majin Vegeta. I think he's still super impressive, even by today's standards. I think the AGL Trunks is okay with Ki. I really like Trunks, but I just think he lacks a pairing partner, the AGL Trunks. His link set's a little bit random. If you could get like another Trunks from that section of Dragon Ball and kind of mesh the two of them together, I think he could be really good. But he needs a good first slot pairing partner. He's a fantastic second slot unit that can get good defense and does good damage, but he really desperately needs a pairing partner, like badly. I think all of his good pairing partners are a little bit out of date, and yeah, I just think even though I really like him as a unit, I do think it's a little bit, he's a little bit behind the curve, personally speaking, just because of pairing partners. Again, I don't think he's at all a bad unit, but I think again they made him. They didn't really think about who he's actually going to pair with and on what teams. Like, all of his great linking partners are himself transformed, which is cool, but you don't really want to run his leader skill. It's not bad, it's just 130% HP lead is a bit rough to run nowadays. And you've got the transforming Trunks, so once transforming Trunks gets an easy A, you'll look great, but missing out on Cold Judgment is kind of a big issue. So it is a little bit disappointing, but I mean, either way, it's still decent. You just have to kind of work around these things. But yeah, but that's about it. I want to say I think that's everything that you need to know about this stage. I think pretty straightforward at the end of the day. So yeah, but let me know what you guys think, or how you guys found it. And yeah, otherwise I'll check you guys in the next one. So until then, take care, stay safe, and as always, bye.